Joe here, Boulet's Garage. So what is a PDI? A PDI is a pre-delivery inspection. This inspection is supposed to be done by a technician after the vehicle comes off the truck. It's been delivered to the dealership before someone buys it. So on pre-delivery inspection, one of the many things that should be checked and adjusted properly is tire pressure. I got a text from my ex-sister-in-law. She just bought a new 2025 Toyota RAV4, thankfully. But she says to me, she said, should my tire pressures be set at 55 PSI? I'm like, no, they should not. Well, she said, I contacted the salesperson and he said that, well, because it's hot and so humid, that's why they're reading so high. No. And then he also said that those tire pressure monitors can't be really trusted. They're not very accurate. Really? You say that about your own product? Come on. So instead of making up some stupid lie like that, the salesperson should have said, oh, look, sorry, the technician must have left. Tire pressures high. We're sorry about that. We can take care of it. But, the car she bought it in New York. They delivered it over to her. So it's not like she's going to drive over to New York. We're in New Hampshire. That's a little haul. So she decided not to do anything about it. As far as I know, I've just been texting her back and forth. She's concerned that damage was done to the tires by it being driven over like that. And like, no, long term, yeah, the tires would wear right down the center, and you would likely be putting tires on it sooner than later. With that said, the tires they give you on a new car don't last long anyway, just so you know. They're a softer compound tire. I've talked about this before. And they're designed to have the car ride smoother, so you'll buy the car, but they don't last that long typically. If you're lucky, if you get 30,000 miles out of the new set of tires they give you with the new car. Anyway, thankfully she got rid of her other car, and I meant to tell you about this in the beginning. She had a 2011 Nissan Pathfinder. It was coming up on the 200,000 mark. For the last 2-3 years, I've been trying to convince her to get rid of it because nothing catastrophic has happened yet, but it was soon to be an issue. She held on to the vehicle because she liked not having a car payment. Well, who doesn't like having a car payment? I mean, anyway, so the salesperson, instead of, she obviously didn't get a good salesperson, because if she called the salesperson up and said, hey, is this right? No, it's wrong. Maybe this technician must have missed the tire pressure or whatever. But when you get your car, you're picking it up for delivery, you're excited to get the car, you're not going to necessarily listen to what the salesperson's saying. A good salesperson is going to go over the major features of the vehicle. And with today's technology, there are so many bells and whistles, let's put it that way. It's hard to understand all of them. But I'm going to go back in time here. When I worked at the Honda dealership, I left there in 2004. But there was a guy that bought a brand new Honda Accord, and he lived 2 hours away up in Burlington, Vermont. And he called up the dealership. He called up a salesperson and says, hey, my cruise control doesn't work. He says, oh, really? I'll put you over to service. So put him over to service, and the service advisor didn't know to ask the questions that he should have asked. And so he scheduled him in for an appointment. Poor guy takes half the day off from work, drives 2 hours, comes down. I get the repair order, and it says cruise control inoperative. I get in the car. First thing I see is the main switch is off. And the earlier vehicles, they were a little primitive. They had a main switch on the instrument cluster. And so I set the main switch on, drove it, cruise control worked fine, decel, accelerated, canceled with the brake pedal, canceled with the switch. Everything worked fine. So went in, I forget the guy's name. Let's call him Roy. And I said, Roy, come on out. Let's go for a ride. So he came out with me. We got in the car. I said, see, it works just fine. He goes, what was wrong with it? I said, the main switch was off. So I could see that he was a little bit embarrassed that he didn't look into that, but I could see also that he was a little bit pissed off. And I don't blame him. You take half a day off from work to come down to get it fixed, and there's no problem with it. So if we hit rewind and go all the way back, when you first talked to the salesman should have said, you know what? Hold on, I don't know. I'm going to get back to you. I'm going to look at the features on. I got another one out in the lot, and I'll get back to you. So he should have called the guy back and said, hey, look, did you make sure that the main switch was on? Oh no, I didn't check that. Well, check that. And the guy should have basically first looked in his owner's manual. Um, it's almost impossible for a salesperson to go over every single feature that's in a vehicle. But don't make things up. You know what I mean? Because you can get caught in a lie easy like that. And it's really hard to find a good, honest salesperson. You get a good product, Honda or Toyota, the vehicles kind of sell themselves. Um, Oftentimes the time isn't taken to go over each individual feature the vehicle has. It's very time consuming. But, I have to chuckle to myself because I'll have a car in from time to time, and there'll be a PDI sheet in there. And the pre-delivery inspection sheet should be in your car with all the items checked off, such as check engine oil level, transmission fluid level. There's a little box next to it that should be checked off. And I've seen them before where those little boxes got a straight line drawn through them, connecting them all together with a signature. Now that tells me that right there, that PDI was done very quickly. And when I left Honda, you got 1.4 hours to do a pre-delivery inspection. Yeah, you could get them done in under an hour, usually with no problems. But what do you check on a pre-delivery inspection? Everything. If there's a switch, you check it, make sure it works. Windows all go up and down. Wipers work. All the fluid levels. Idle learn. Fuses that need to be installed. All that stuff should be done. Tire pressures, big one. Everything, make sure the spare tire's there. The tools, the spare tire jack and tools, everything are there. Basically, road test it for vibrations and pulling and noises and all that. So when you get your car, it's perfect as it can be. So that is very important to keep the TSI, the Total Satisfaction Index score, up for any dealership. Minimal problems, higher the score. And that goes for service as well. But hey, if you made it through this video to the end, I really appreciate it. About 95% of people who watch my videos are subscribed, and I really appreciate it if you could subscribe. I'm trying to build the channel, and I hope my information is helpful to you. If you like this video, please do and subscribe. That would be great. Until next time, treat yourself awesome and treat others around you awesome as well, and great things will happen for you. Have a good night.